It's like 2 hours by airplane from here. It's close to Saudi Arabia. It's kind of like a little, it's a different country, but Saudi Arabia uses that country to go have some fun, to go have some friends and visitors, since in Saudi Arabia you can't have guests or visitors.
It's very close, yes. It's interesting to know what news has, what impressions people have about Bahrain. You're right. It's not 2 hours away. It's a little bit further away. It's about 6 hours plus an extra hour, so it's a little bit further away. But yes, it is an island next to Saudi Arabia. And my husband works in Saudi Arabia, and my children and I live in Bahrain, so because we choose not to live in Saudi Arabia, so it's kind of an interesting situation. But we're there just for several years, and normally we live in the United States. We live in Texas, in Corpus Christi, and we have 1 more year left in Bahrain. I currently do not work there, so I'm just taking care of my children and my family. And now we're visiting my parents, and Zoya is my mom, so that's how we're related to people in this club. Thank you.
Okay, we had from Max, and now we want to hear from you, young gentlemen. Please explain your way, and we miss you also.
My name is Paul. I'm 15 years old. And I also live in Bahrain.
When was the first time you attended those lessons? Yeah, it was a long time ago, like 4 years ago.
I remember your interest to debate. Tonight we have a standard Toastmaster meeting, so does not matter. I think you will be active also. Okay, and it's my pleasure to present my friend Sergey. I can say that we practice together sport probably 20 years ago. Nevertheless, we are friends till now. And Sergey, if you want to say something briefly, please, few words about yourself. Okay, okay. Sergey is a guest, and he wants to renew his knowledge English, and we always glad to see new faces. Okay. So, and Elena, please present probably your guest. Who is this gentleman? Policeman? Robber?
I think.
Shake hands.
My name is Elena. This is my son. Son, what is your name? Lloyd. His name is Albert, but he likes to be Lloyd. Sometimes Misha, sometimes different children, people. He wants to be a little bit older. He's, how old are you, Albert?
Just kind of like those.
So he's 5.5. We are here visiting my mom, and we're staying here 4 years. So we also live in Texas. We are from San Antonio, Texas. We're Texans. We love Texas. It's our place to be. And here also today, because my mom is here. Last time I was here, and I like the club, and I like the audience. I like everything in this club, so I decided to bring my mom here that she can improve her English skills, that she can improve her public speaking skills, and I hope she would like to be here because it's a very unique club in Kyiv. I have not met such a older generation club in Kyiv for a while, and for me it's very unique, like I said, because always it's young people or students or 20 plus or 30 plus people, and here I'm surprised and I'm so proud of you guys. I really am. Thank you.
It's good, then we have some family deal. And please, lady, what is your name and say briefly about it.
Next time, no.
No.
What is your name?
My name is Svetlana.
Svetlana. Nice to meet you.
Когда где сейчас? Это говорил мама.
Can you share with us the story about the name of your grandmother?
I have to show red, and I will this information is right to my notebook, and then I will give you a report about it.
Okay, Alexander, please take these tools.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, and work with it. Okay, friends, now we are ready to start warming up session. What does it mean? It's your opportunity to be warmed up at the start of our meeting. So you have 4 minutes for presenting your attitude to the topic, your point of view. Please share with us everything what you want. And I remind you the topic of our meeting tonight. It sounds like music and life. So what does music mean for you? Do you like music? Do you listen music? How often? Please share. I would say about myself that my female friend tried to explain what sort of music I like to listen. And she came to my website on VK because VK is popular social media for music and films. And she found no songs, no music, no video, and she asked me, why do you have no favorite music and any melodies probably, because I would like to learn about you. I say, I have no playlist for this thing. Probably I don't like to listen this music. And she understood about my personality. But what about you, friends? I invite any volunteer who want to share her or his attitude to the music. Sergey, may I offer you to start warming up session? So please meet the man who sings much and I think love music.
So 4 minutes.
4 minutes. In love with elder man who was before 40, and they were both felt this feeling, and they were together. They were happy, and after that, this young lady tried to sit to the piano and play, but the man said, "Don't play now, because you will mix your inner music, and it will be ruined." So there is some idea in this. Please, Kira, share with us your attitude to music. What kind of music do you like or probably play? Please.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity to speak about this fascinating subject of music. I'm not really an expert in literature. I think I'm more of an expert in language and linguistics. But as part of linguistics, we study phonetics, which is the way we pronounce things. And phonetics is very tied to music because we talk about different vocal cords and different parts of our mouth and our throat that participate in producing sound, which is what we use to produce music as well when we sing. Something that came to my mind during the first speech today was that there are many different sounds that we can make. And whether the sound is a very loud one from the top or a muted one from the bottom, in different situations, we might want that kind of sound more than this one. And all of this can become music in some way. When you hear an orchestra, there are many different kinds of musical instruments there. And some are very loud, some are very bright, some have very muted sounds, some have very strong sounds. If you hear a drum, your whole body might feel it. If you hear a violin, maybe your heart will be touched more. If you hear a harp, maybe you will have some other ideas in your mind, and it might remind you of a fairy tale or some unusual setting. So really different musical instruments, official musical instruments or other things like tables and pens can have their, and spoons can have their own function in music. Another interesting, I guess, thought is I have a son, one of my sons plays the violin, and when people talk about somebody practicing the violin, very often there are two types of sounds that we hear. One is very nice melodic sound, and the other is not so nice repetitive sound when somebody is practicing and maybe having a hard time learning it. But even those two types of sounds can create different impressions in us. If I hear my son practicing the violin, even if it doesn't sound very nice, it is already good, sounds good to me because I know he's practicing and I know he's learning, so it's already good. So music can cause different thoughts in us and different feelings, and certainly a lot of positive or negative feelings. But it's interesting how varied the subject can be. So thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Okay, we continue. Alex, may I ask you about your continue, and Marina, may I offer you share with us about music? Do you play music?
Okay, yes, I like it.
Please share your
I'm afraid because I'm afraid to talk before audience, and I try to talk somewhat. I like music very much, and when I was child, I take my chair and put book on it and try to play. And I imagined a little piano, and I tried to play on my chair. And my parents bought the piano for me. And I went to musical school, and during 5 years, and I sang in choir, school choir, and school band. And music is a great part in my life. And I cannot imagine my life without music. And I like to study biography great composers like Beethoven, Mozart, Tchaikovsky, because I think it's great persons, and their music is amazing and fascinating. And I like to visit fascinating places such as theater and concert hall, and I listen music almost every day, and I can listen to music, classical music by hours. And I want to read some words about what I thought. Music can change attitude of man to life, to strengthen the will of power, bring up nobleness and kindness. Under influence of music, our labor energy can grow or down. A wonderful music can decorate our life, make a man better, kinder, and divide with him both grief and gladness. The standard of the real music are works of Beethoven, Mozart, Tchaikovsky, and many other composers. The music I can listen by hours. Music make our life more brighter. That's all.
Friends, can you imagine your life without fascinating music, for example, in supermarkets?
I like listening to music as well. Music is one of my favorite subjects at school. I take music classes at school, and I study different composers from the classical period. And I like different types of music, like pop music and classical music as well.
What is your favorite music, or type of music, or singer, musician?
I like this violinist. His name is David Garrett. He is very inspirational. He plays very well, and I like to play songs that he plays.
May I ask something? Have you took part in any kind of competitions?
Competitions, not really. More orchestra
Okay, thank you.
and concerts at my school.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I live in music from time to time. Sometimes the morning exercise doing my morning exercise.
Are you singing something, yeah?
No, with music. In the spring, I going in the church, listening organ, and I understand that organ I like.
You're designed for organ. Organ is designed for you.
Them.
You're fantastic. Listen to me.
Almost all
She uses that phrase and some more lines, that line, and she is singing. The rain in space stays mainly in the plane. The rain in space stays mainly in the plane. So we extend the sound. Tonight, it doesn't matter whether you just sound correctly or the way it was produced by that character. Just try just to extend the sound. The rain in space stay mainly in the plane. Zoe, try. That's your dream, I know. The rain in space stays mainly in the plane. Kira, support, family business. Yeah, let's move.
Well, the way she sings is the
Yeah.
rain is
Yeah, so, похоже? Does it look good? Okay, now, so, if it's your choice, it's going to be your choice. Now, probably we'll use some other languages a little bit later, but at that moment, someone who will be invited here or by his or her own will appears here, chooses page line with his or her finger or with the neighbors, yeah, and reads out that proverb in 3 languages. You can just read out, try to extend if it's going to your will, and then present still 2-minute speech. Not a sing, not an opera, okay? So the first is going to be, let me look. Yeah.
What should I do?
So choose whatever page, whatever line here, proverb saying, and please read it out in 2 languages.
East or west, home is best.
That's English, then Ukrainian and Russian.
Дома хорошо, в гостях хорошо, а дома лучше. And Ukrainian.
Yes, you can find Ukrainian.
У гостях добре, а вдома найкраще. Нема ніде краще, як вдома.
And once again, but try to add something to your voice, just a little change.
You want me to sing it?
Or
No?
if you said.
I will, no
Okay,
problem. East or west, but home is best.
Yeah, but a speech,
What?
2-minute speech, that was only the beginning.
Well,
East or west, always yeah.
should I involve this subject about east and west?
Yes, exactly. That was a kind of.
Well, you know, the rule is that I can speak about anything I want. Can I?
Okay.
Thank you. Well, but it touches the music a little bit. I've remembered the scientific fact that scientists discovered the effect that the music has on some plants, like tomatoes or even potatoes. So nowadays, you know what they do? They sow some large amounts, large fields of tomatoes or potatoes, and maybe some other stuff. And then they turn on some special kind of music, and then these plants, they grow bigger, higher, and they give more fruits. Yeah, so this is the very modern
And then
way.
you start eating them.
Yeah. So that was my speech.
Great. Now, let me invite Katerina. Let me please come over here. You can choose English, Ukrainian, and Russian. Same, yeah? Just read out as you like. You can change or not change, just relax. And then deliver a 2-minute speech dedicated to an idea. You got it. Смисл в тому, сенс у тому, щоб прочитати англійське прислів'я, переклад на українську мову, російську, і потім сказати щось. У вас буде 2 хвилини цього приводу. Тільки і живеш. My fingers. Okay, let me do my fingers. Okay. Oh, great. Oh, it's up to you. If you don't like it, you can. Если не нравится, вообще не нравится.
Friends are serious all time. Никто не отнимает
Friends are thieves of time.
Никто не отнимает столько времени, как друзья. Никто не забирає стільки часу, як друзі.
Great. Interesting, but is business language? Yeah? So, in English again. Friends are thieves of time. То есть враги, вони вори времени.
Друзі.
Друзья.
No, thieves. Воры.
Friends.
Друзья забирают
друзья,
время,
враги,
да.
то есть друзья, воры времени. So,
Да, мы все поняли.
да, sorry. Okay. Український.
В якійсь мірі я згодна з цим прислів'ям, що є люди, які багато присвячують свого часу друзям. Але часто існує така практика, що ми мало приділяємо часу своїм рідним, друзям, а десь завжди або на роботі, або в якихось поїздках. Тому, що сказати, мені здається, що прислів'я добре, але часто рідні скаржаться або друзі, що якраз мало часу саме їм приділяється. І часто ми теж якось намагаємося, сподіваємося, що буде більше часу саме рідним і друзям, а в підсумку виходить, що все життя проходить або ж на роботі, або дійсно десь в якихось кафе і ще десь. Ну, я говорю взагалі, але це я часто спостерігала. І навіть є таке прислів'я, що чи пісня, що найменше дістає самим любимым людям, меньше всего любви достается самым любимым людям. Є і така думка. Тому ось так я змогла це пояснити.
Я думаю, що ви зв'язали з музикою. One more saying and then another assignment. So an idea is still yes. You change your pitch, yes. That is your voice. Huh? Okay, let's continue, but it would be much better if we trying to apply something, yes? Okay, at least, yes? Okay. So, and that's my suggestion to Vice President of Education. So, I dare say that foreign languages, they help us to improve our voices. Why? Because when we listen or hear something different from what we're accustomed, some pattern of speech, that helps us tuning our ear, and thus we are trying to imitate or starting changing our voice. Yeah? For instance, the rainy plains is mainly in the land. There are, we all know, I'm perfectly sure that every one of us knows at least one or two lines from some classic song or piece of literature, English, German, French, Italian, and it is probably that when we first heard foreign language, and then we sometimes listen and hear some pieces of foreign languages, that helps us to improve our speeches, voices, vocal tools, kind of like, for instance, that line, it's Spanish, yeah? Bésame mucho, da 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 da. That's not my normal voice, yeah?
I'm sorry, but we haven't much time.
Okay.
The chase.
Okay, now I invite Yuri to appear and to to recollect at least one line from Leo Tolstoy or from some other book and demonstrate that we can or we normally improve our speaking skills.
Deliver prepared speech and dream about general stuff. Because bad soldier who does not dream about becoming general. Thank you.
Самое точное генералом, да? Если капрала переживут. Такая песня была. Zoya, just for the balance and to conclude table topic session, you have 2 minutes just for the balance.
Can I give the floor to my daughter?
Oh, great. Kira, yeah.
Just something to share. About this, English, please.
Okay. Thank you. I had a thought when you asked your last question about phrases from a book or a movie that can be used in our lives. And first as a student and then as a teacher of English, I can definitely testify to you how important it is to memorize. You can, whether it is a movie that you like to watch, a film, and you memorize phrases, it really helps you to use those phrases later in your everyday speech. You can also memorize a book or parts of the book, and then you can use them in your speech as well. It is much more helpful than memorizing vocabulary words. A list of 20 words will not help you, but 20 sentences will help you because then you can use them. When I was studying English in high school, probably, I was taking lessons from a very talented teacher who made me memorize The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. And up until today, I can quote the beginning of The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. And it says, "The studio was filled with a rich odor of roses, and when the light summer wind stirred amidst the trees in the garden, there came through the open door the heavy scent of the lilac, or the more delicate perfume of the pink flowering thorn." It's just the very first phrase.
Why not, Kira, wonderful, why not to repeat it at least a little bit slower? Because me personally, I haven't caught it.
Okay, it's just a descriptive sentence.
Making small pauses after the, logic.
Sure. The studio was filled with a rich odor of roses, and when the light summer wind stirred amidst the trees in the garden, there came through the open door the heavy scent of the lilac, or the more delicate perfume of the pink flowering thorn.
Kira and Oscar Wilde, yeah, together, working together. Thank you very much. That sounded like music. Now, let's check.
It was performed by the teenage band Mascop 7, which is from Britain, but now it doesn't exist. I really liked this song, and I still do, and I also liked other songs of this popular British band. So I never had a dream come true. Oh, I forgot. No, just kidding. Everybody's got something they had to leave behind. One regret from yesterday that just seems to grow in time. There's no use looking back on I know it doesn't look very fascinating, but
It looks very classical.
Without words.
I'm
without
learning,
words.
you are in the process of my learning of how to act in front of the audience. So, somewhere in my memory, I've lost the sense of time. And tomorrow can never be, 'cause yesterday is all that fills my mind. There's no way looking back or wondering how it should be now or might have been. All this I know, but still I can't find ways to let you go. I never had a dream come true till the day that I found you. Even though I pretend that I moved on, you'll always be my baby. I never found the words to say. You're the one I think about each day, and I know no matter where life takes me to, a part of me will always be with you. Thank you.
Speech during table topic had 12. Kira had 17 in the first speech, but in the second one, only 3. Alex, you have interesting habit to breathe where you are not supposed to breathe. In English, when we speak English, we cannot take pauses between definite words. For example, you cannot say, I want to go. No, we cannot say that. If you want to breathe or to have some gulp of water, you need to say, I want to go. So you cannot do pauses between to and the verb. This is against the rule. Then you make pauses where they are not appropriate. So don't make pauses in between several words. Then you also breathe with fu and fe. Fu, fe during the sentences. So altogether there were about 8. Lena, you had about 18. And These are very American habit. Zoya had 4. Thank you. Marina had 13. A lot. Katerina had 12. Max had 2. And also Max and some other people start sentences with and. And never starts the sentence. So you're not supposed to start the sentence with and. So try to catch it. Olga, 18. Sasha, 11. And Yuri, I didn't catch any. I tried hard, but I didn't. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zoya. You can see how it's good to be the president of the club. Here, please, your turn about grammarian report.
Okay. Thank you very much. Maybe next time if I come, I will not be a grammarian because every time I come, I'm asked to be a grammarian. I was glad to hear several of you using the word fascinating several times. Unfortunately, not everybody used that word. Some people didn't use the word fascinating at all, but we had some people who used 2 or 3 times, and that was very good. I would say that number 1 challenge that foreign speakers have when speaking English or any other language is enunciation. Not pronunciation, but enunciation, when you speak very clearly. It is very important to enunciate every word when especially when you're giving a speech. I assume in this type of book, it will teach you something about this too. Even though many of us understand what you're saying, because most of us speak Russian or Ukrainian as well, so it's easier for us to understand what you're saying. But many times, my children ask me, what did he say? I didn't understand. Or what did she say? I didn't understand. Even though you said everything correctly, but you didn't enunciate clearly. So a very common mistake that students do is they don't think about pronunciation. They don't think about enunciation. They just want to use good words. But the way that people usually judge how good your language is by your enunciation and pronunciation. So I would recommend for all of you to focus on that, because it shows to native speakers how well you speak the language, even though you may know a lot more words than some of the native speakers do. And then common articles. Articles are always hard for foreign speakers. And then pronunciation of TH, the, or sound, very important. So, and one more I will say is music school, not musical school. It's because it's the school of music, so it's music school, not musical school. So, other than that, you did a very good job. I would say that I can tell that for many of you, you work hard and you prepared your speeches, and you did a great job. So, thank you for working so hard today. Thank you.
Alexander, please, your report.
Okay, at the beginning, everybody had possibility to present short topic about the music, and Sergey spent 5 minutes 38 seconds. Then was Kira. Her time was 3 minutes 30 seconds. And then Alex spent 4 minutes 1 second. Lena spent 2 minutes 35 seconds. Then was Zoya. Her speech was 3 minutes 28 seconds. And then was Marina, 2 minutes 44 seconds. Katerina, 2 minutes 3 seconds. Paul, 2 minutes 10 seconds. And Max, 1 minute and 1 second. Olga spent 3 minutes 23 seconds. And I spent 4 minutes 15 seconds. Then was topic master by Sergey. His speech was 6 minutes 33 seconds. In general, it seems to me we have, in general, we keep schedule time in general. It seems to me the song was fascinating at the end.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, friends, for coming and going this meeting. Before closing our meeting, I would say to the members of our club, please register to the seminar. Zoya, for you and for Vyacheslav also, I don't know, will you visit it, but please register, okay? Next meeting will be in another place, I don't know where. Probably we can meet. Why not? What do you think about the meeting in Mariinsky Park in Green Theater? There is a scene. Of course, it depends on the weather, but nevertheless, what do you think?
It's a good idea.
If
Where it is?
the weather is bad, you can sit on the stage, under the roof.
or walk over to some place where we can find.
So,
Where it is Mariinsky Park?
Mariinsky Park, Арсенальная metro station.
That's
Yes.
where
Верховной
Supreme
Рады.
Council.
Oh, it's
Their parliament is.
А что там делать?
Возле Верховной Рады, там, где...
Следующая встреча там, на улице.
Як плохая погода, то где-то в 10.
Okay, if you have any ideas about the topic for next meeting, please say.
Why not to have at least several speeches of librarian speeches, and just produce and some just readings out, using at least some of these kind of exercises. That is, to read pieces of literature distinctly with a good articulation, enunciation, etc.
I ask about topic. It can be a few words, friends. Do you have any ideas?
Lines from the classics. Lines from the classics. The lines from the classics.
Okay. What else can be? Okay, if you have no idea now, you can write me on Facebook later. Let me at least now let me declare our meeting adjourned. Please follow our site on Facebook, and you will know about the place. I hope it will be in Mariinsky Park, and you will know about the topic.
Okay, great. Sounds good.
Тему уже приблизительно сказал?
Да нет.
В Фейсбуке напишем где-нибудь.